You look like you could use a miracle, or a mechanic. The voice cut through the thick silence like a crack of thunder. Ellie spun around, heart thudding, nearly dropping the wrench clutched in her oil-stained hands. Her truck hissed with rising steam, the hood propped open in the fading golden light. Dust curled around her boots as she squinted toward the source. He sat atop a pitch-black horse like a shadow from another time. Tall, still, his hat was pulled low, hiding his eyes, and his denim shirt looked like it had weathered 100 storms. Every part of him blended into the land behind him dry hard, and haunted Early gripped the wrench tighter. Depends, she replied slowly, eyeing him with quiet caution. Which one are you offering? The man gave a lopsided smile, dry, as the air between them. Left my miracle kit in the last ghost town, he said. But I know my way around engines and horses. If you've got one of those too. The sky above them bled into burnt orange. Her phone was dead. The nearest sign of life was 10 long, rough miles west. Coyotes had already begun their distant howls. Alone, broken down, and low on options, Ellie hesitated. Overheated, she murmured, nodding toward the engine. Or maybe the alternator's fried. I'm not sure. Mind if I take a look? He asked, swinging off the horse in a smooth, practiced motion. She nodded but stayed alert. He moved with a calm that didn't match the wild around them. No cocky swagger, no wasted steps. Just quiet confidence, like he didn't need to prove a thing. He set down his saddlebag, pulled out an old cloth, and leaned over the engine with the ease of a man who'd done it 1,000 times before. Ellie folded her arms. What's your name? Robert. He looked up, expression unreadable. That's what I go by. The air grew heavier with silence. Only the soft tick of the cooling engine and the wind whispering through dry grass filled the space between them. He wiped grease from a hose, checked the belt, and didn't say another word. The shadows stretched longer across the gravel. You local? She asked, more to break the tension than anything else. He shook his head, just passing through. You, even from this state? Close enough to feel it, far enough to not belong. His answer stopped her cold. It didn't make sense, but somehow it did. 20 minutes later, he stepped back, wiping his hands on his jeans. Radiators busted, he said. She won't make it far. Ellie sighed. Figures. There's a trailer back at the ranch. She offered another truck too. It's 10 miles west. If you help me haul this thing, I'll make you dinner. He tipped his hat. Fair trade. It took nearly an hour to hitch the truck to his horse and load her gear into his saddlebag. She followed him on foot until he insisted she ride behind. The night air was dropping fast, biting through her shirt. She climbed up awkwardly, trying to keep her distance, but eventually gave in to the warmth of the stranger in front of her. They rode in silence. When they finally reached the property, the old wood sign creaked gently in the breeze. Ranch, 1979. Porch lights spilled gold across the dirt. The horses grazing in the pasture lifted their heads but didn't stir. Robert led them to the barn and dismounted without a word. Together, they unloaded the gear. You any good with tools? Ellie asked. Depends on the job. I've got a busted gate, a leaky roof. If you're looking for work. He gave her a glance, unreadable again. A few days, then I'll move on. She nodded once. Fair enough. Later that night, Ellie placed 2 bowls of stew and fresh cornbread on the small kitchen table. Robert sat across from her, hair damp from a shower, but still in the same worn shirt. He didn't eat like a man starved. He ate like a man who didn't take more than what he needed. "You ever settle anywhere?" she asked, her voice barely louder than the ticking clock. He shook his head. "Not in a long time." Running from something. He met her eyes, voice low but firm. Running. Toward peace. That answer sat between them like a secret. The wind picked up outside, brushing against the windows. Ellie offered him the spare bed in the old bunkhouse beside the barn. He accepted with a quiet thank you and stepped back into the night. She locked the door behind him, heart uneasy. There was something about him. Too calm, too distant. Kind, yes, but like a man who'd forgotten how to let anyone get close. A drifter, she thought. The kind you were never sure was really lost or just hiding. She turned off the lights, tried to quiet her mind, and went to bed. But sometime before dawn, a violent crash shattered the silence, and Ellie's